It is well known that most of the modern Indian scripts are derived from Brahmi script. So it is important for us to know more about the Brahmi script. And in this video, we are going to do just that. And we will start with the name Brahmi itself. Most of you would be surprised to know that historians are not sure whether in the Mauryan period and even after the Mauryan period, the name Brahmi was used to describe the script these people were writing. I am saying this because even when Prinsep deciphered the Brahmi script, no one used the term Brahmi. They used to call this script either Indian Pali or sometimes it was called Mauryan script. The first time the term Brahmi was used was by a French Orientalist named Albert Terrain de Lecoupri. To understand Lecoupri's argument, we have to first talk about a Buddhist text called Lalit Vistar. As some of you would know that Lalit Vistar is a Buddhist text. And when we study the scripts of ancient India, it is an important text for us because in Lalit Vistar, there is a list of 64 scripts that was believed to have been mastered by the Buddha when he was a child. And in this list, we find that the first script which was mentioned is Brahmi and the second script is Kharoshthi. So what Lecoupri did was he analyzed a Chinese Buddhist encyclopedia and in it was written that the Brahmi script was written from left to right, whereas the Kharoshthi script was written from right to left. So Lecoupri argued that in the Ashokan inscription, the script which was written from right to left is called Kharoshthi, whereas the script which was written from left to right is called Brahmi. And that is how we use the term Brahmi to describe the script that was used in the Mauryan period and up to the Gupta period. Now let's talk about the earliest Brahmi inscription. Earlier it was believed that the first Brahmi inscription were written in the Ashokan period. There are some inscription, particularly the Sohagora inscription and Mahastan inscription, which some scholars argue that it belonged to the pre-Mauryan period, but we are not sure about that. So I'm going to leave these inscriptions aside. But most of the general consensus among historians was that the Ashokan period was the first time during which we find that the Brahmi script was used to write inscriptions. But this assumption changed significantly when, in an excavation in Anuradhapuram, Sri Lanka, archaeologists found out some potsherds on which Brahmi alphabets were written. When archaeologists analyzed these potsherds, it was found that these potsherds dated to around 6th century BC to 4th century BC. That means that the Brahmi alphabet that were written on these potsherds were written around 6th century BC or 4th century BC. And this finding has significantly changed the understanding of how Brahmi spread throughout the Indian subcontinent and how old the Brahmi script is. Now let's talk about how the Brahmi script was written. In most of the inscription which we have, the Brahmi is written from left to right. But there are some inscription in which this pattern is not followed. I am talking about an inscription which is found in Yeragudi, which is in Andhra region. And in Yeragudi, there is a Ashokan inscription, and this Ashokan inscription is quite interesting because the pattern which this inscription follows is quite unique. The first line of this inscription follows the usual pattern, that is, it is written from left to right. But the second line is written from right to left. The third line then follows the usual pattern, that is from left to right. And this pattern of writing is called Bostrophidan, and it is quite unique. There are also some coins in which the Brahmi script is written from right to left. And some scholars suggest that these were the initial phases of Brahmi, and that is how the first time Brahmi was written. Gradually, it changed to left to right. But this conclusion is quite debatable, so we will leave that aside. Now let's talk about the variations in Brahmi and how the Brahmi script itself evolved. We find that in the Asokan inscription, which is scattered throughout the Indian subcontinent, the Brahmi, which is written in these inscriptions, is quite uniform. There are slight variation, but these are quite negligible. By the 1st century AD, we can see that there is a slight differentiation between the Mauryan Brahmi and the Brahmi of the 1st century AD. And by the 3rd century AD, we see that the regional variation has also begun. Now let's look at an example to see how the Brahmi alphabets evolved. Here we are going to look at the alphabet Rna. During the Mauryan period, Rna was written like this. By the 1st century AD, we find that there is a slight variation in how Rna was written in the Mauryan period and how Rna was written during this time. Now in the 3rd century AD, we find that there is a clear regional differentiation. We can see how Rna was written in the north and how it was written in the north. So there is a clear differentiation of how the alphabets are written from the 3rd century AD. Now let's talk about the Brahmi numericals. So the first thing we should understand about the Brahmi numericals is that there is no symbol for 0. Because 0 was not invented during this period. It was invented quite late. So because of this, the numerical system of the Brahmi is quite primitive and it is similar to the Roman numerical system. Here you can see how 1 to 9 is written in Brahmi. And then there are different symbols from every multiple of 10. So 10 is written like this, 20 is written like this, and so on. And there is also different symbols for 100, 200, 300. So suppose you want to write 153 in Brahmi. So you will use the symbol for 100, then you will use the symbol for 50, then you will use the system for 3. And you can see that it is quite similar to the Roman numerical system. So we have discussed some of the important facts about Brahmi. If you want to know more about ancient Indian scripts, consider watching this video. Thank you for watching.